Lesson 4.4 is on graphing a function rule, so we need to go over some steps of how to do this. There's only two, and the first one is to make a table of values. Choose at least 4 x values, all right? And then my suggestion is to use 0. So I would always use 0, 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you use 0, you're going to see some benefits. And then once you have your x values, then substitute those values into the equation and solve for y. So basically your x values are your inputs, and what comes out are your outputs. Once you've done this, then graph the ordered pairs. It's as simple as that. So you're going to get 2 types of graphs. Well, I should take that back. You're going to get a graph and you need to decide what type it is. The first type is a continuous graph. This is a graph that is unbroken because things are happening in between the data points. So, for example, money earned per hour. And I'm sorry, it's a little blurry. But most people, go ahead and draw this graph on there, please. Most people think you connect the dots for every single graph, and that is not necessarily true. You connect the graphs if something is happening in between. So think about this, money earned per hour. You got 1 hour, you got 2 hours. Is there time happening in between 1 hour and 2 hours? So think about 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Is there something happening? Is there time in between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock? The other one is money. All right, $10 and $11. Is there money in between 10 and 11? If you can answer yes for both of those, then it's continuous. Then you would connect the points, all right? But you do not connect the points every single time. There's another kind of graph, and it's called a discrete graph. This is made up of distinct, isolated points. This means that nothing is happening in between the data points. So an example is the number of texts sent per hour. Again, I'm sorry, the graph is a little blurry, right? But let's say something happens, you just got off the phone with a friend, or you just saw something on TV, and you're sending all these texts, and then maybe 30 minutes go by, and you're not sending as many texts. Your texts decrease. An hour goes by, there's less text. This is not happening continuously, because think about it. You have 1 text, or you have 2 texts. Can you send 1.5 texts? All right, it's not possible. And those of you guys that are thinking, yeah, one that you start to say, but then you don't finish it, well, guess what? That's a text. You sent it, it counts. Right? Even though your thought wasn't finished, you sent the text. You either send it or you don't. All right? It's one or the other. So they are isolated. This would be discrete. You would not connect the points. So not every graph is going to be connected. This is something that we need to be aware of and start looking at. All right? So we will take a look at some examples tomorrow. See you then.